117 songs down, 883 to go. And I thought I ought to record a 1000 songs podcast because I blew past the somewhat suspect and rather random milestone of 100 songs, and how I blew past it is going to be fairly instructive. So I had the life happening situation with stuff to do with the family, which I won't go into, which basically meant that I went from being, I think, 5 songs ahead of my goal of 1000 songs in 1000 days to about a week behind, because I have an app on my phone which shows me how many songs I've got to go to hit the goal of 1000 songs in 1000 days. And looking at that app right now, I've actually now gone from being 7 days behind to being, it says I've got 892 days left and I've done 117. So I'm actually 9 days ahead, and I haven't done my song splurging today, which means I'm probably going to be over 9 days ahead. Because here's the thing, since the last 1000 songs episode where I said I really need to start splurging lyrics, that's exactly what I did. I set a timer, so my countdown timer is an hour, and that's the maximum amount of time it can do. So I thought, well, I'll just use that, and I'll see how many song splurges I can do in 1 hour. And the answer is anything from 3 to 5 song splurges. So in other words, within an hour, on a good day, I can get 5 done, and on a not so good day, I can get 3 done, which is how I've got ahead. And the absolutely mind-blowing thing to me is that the median quality of the songs that I'm writing is no worse. By making songs that quickly, by splurging songs that quickly, for sure, I do have more bad ones. But the good ones are just as good, if not better, than the ones I was doing when I started. And there are outliers as well. So in other words, yes, I am making many more bad songs, but because I have 3 to 10 times the speed at which I'm going, when I started doing this, it was taking me around an hour and a half to make one song. So I can't really do the maths on that. But anyway, because I've massively increased the speed at which I'm going, that means the amount of songs that I'm making is much higher. So actually, the number of good songs I'm making is much higher, as well as the number of bad songs. Having said all that, though, I do have to be careful, because when I say good songs and bad songs, I am going on how I feel about them in the moment. Because one thing I'm not doing right now, which you will notice if you look inside my music machine, what you will notice is that I haven't listened to any for a while. So I'm getting this huge number of splurges in my splurge column, and I need to listen to them. So I'm going on what I think the good ones and the bad ones are, which is likely to be highly inaccurate. But one thing I can say for sure is that there is no overall loss in quality. In fact, I'm fairly sure that overall the quality is improving. And that would make sense because I am practicing over and over again. And you might say, yeah, but Mike, you're not deliberately practicing because you're not being careful enough when you're writing the songs. The thing is, though, that when you leverage quantity like this, when you really take seriously the quality through quantity approach, an important part of it is reviewing what you have done. So in other words, yesterday I wrote 3 songs. I had a bad day actually yesterday. I would say the tide was out yesterday. Within an hour I wrote 3 songs, and it was hard. And I felt that the songs that I had written weren't very good. I don't know whether they were or not, but I felt they were pretty terrible. I was kind of feeling really like, I don't know, it just wasn't working very well. It was like wading through mud. So I only did 3 songs. But even then, I just heard myself, I only did 3 songs in an hour, which is kind of ridiculous. But anyway, so I only did 3 songs, and I don't think they were very good. The thing is, at the end of each session, either on a piece of paper or in my Remarkable tablet, or occasionally I will do it in my Trello. I'll do a quick wins, problems and opportunities where I figure out, okay, so what went well, what didn't go so well, and what would I do differently next time? Because one of the things I'm noticing is that by just making more and more ideas, I'm noticing what I tend to do and what I tend to miss. So for example, one of the things that I've noticed about the lyrics that I'm automatically writing is, and I've said this before, I think, they tend to be quite conceptual and not very visceral. They tend to be on the thinky end of things, the wordy end of things, and they hit you less in the heart. They're less sense-based. So I know that this is something that I need to work on. And it is something that I can work on through this process of making 1,000 songs, rather than trying to do it in just 1 or 2 songs. The other huge benefit of this approach is that it's allowing me to be much more experimental. For example, at the moment, I'm listening to the Dissect podcast about MF Doom. MF Doom was quite an extraordinary rapper in the way that he uses language and words. Obviously, I'm not going to start rapping or anything like that, but using that way of thinking about words, wordplay, and rhyming in songs, that's something that really interests me. I'm interested to play around with it. Now, if I was just making 10 songs and not making 1,000, it wouldn't really give me the space to do that. But when you're doing so many, okay, all right, for the next 7 songs, or for the songs today, for the 3 to 5 songs today, I'm going to see what I can do with that kind of way of doing things. I'm going to be influenced by MF Doom. I'm going to be inspired by MF Doom's way of thinking about words and lyrics. And I did this and it wasn't very good. But anyway, it doesn't matter how bad or good they are, because I know I've got so many. Now, with the speed at which I'm going at the moment, I am wondering whether 1,000 songs in 1,000 days is a little bit too easy now, because I actually did some calculations yesterday and I realized I could actually finish the 1,000 songs this year. I could probably finish them by my birthday if I did 4 songs every day. Thing is, because of the life happening situation that's still going on, because I've got a lot of other opportunities happening right now, I'm not sure that that's what I want to do. I'm not sure if that's the highest value thing to do at this point. But I am fairly sure I'm going to hit the goal way before the 1,000 days is up. So at some point, if it looks like the goal is way too easy, I might have to tighten it up a bit and make the deadline for the 1,000 songs shorter. But I'll come back to that at a later date when I know where I'm at. But what I need to do now is I need to make some time for listening and processing the songs that I've got in my splurge column, because out of that, I'm sure will come some insights and things to do, some ways to improve what I'm doing in the actual splurges. Because at the moment, what I'm reviewing is really my process and not the result. And both the process and the result are important in improving, of course. So that's definitely something that I'm going to commit to now. I'm going to see if by the next time I record a 1,000 songs episode, I can listen up to date. So I've probably got, I don't know, 60 to 80 songs to listen to. Out of that will come some insights as to what to do next, how to change what I'm doing. Because really I've fallen into a way of doing it which is very fast for me. Essentially what I do is I write the lyrics, I come up with a quick chord progression which might fit the meaning of the lyrics, and then I record the vocal. Sometimes what I will do is I will play the chord progression and record the vocal at the same time if it's a very simple chord progression. But actually what I find more effective is to come up with a quick chord progression and then record the vocal separately, because what that allows me to do is practice performing the vocal. When I'm playing both the chords and coming up with the vocal at the same time, it tends to be more difficult to focus on that. So if I'm just recording the vocal at one time, that allows me to put more of my focus on the actual performance. Not that I'm trying to get a good performance. What I'm trying to do is simply practice my ability to sing with emotion. It doesn't matter whether the result is good or not. I'm simply really putting my focus on that, because that's really important to me as I'm discovering in finishing the album that I'm finishing right now. So that's my process, and I'm absolutely sure there's many things I could do to improve that process so that it goes both even quicker and I get a better result. So that's me for now. We'll see how the next few splurges go. But until then, onwards and upwards.